Here we are going to the back of my Mitsubishi iMeave, and under the back seat I've got this all taken apart so we can see some components. Right down here, this is the relay that turns on the connection for the CHAdeMO, and this is the connector that it goes to it. And by jumpering this, the top two pins there, or the two with the blue and the white wire, by jumpering them together, I can manually activate the internal connection here. But instead of just jumpering it, what I'm going to do is connect. I've got a 2-conductor wire here, and I'm going to plug these in at the blue wire and white wire, and at the other end of this, I'm going to install a switch and mount that up in the front of the car. Okay, here we go. I got my little 12-volt switch, drilled a hole in this little panel, butchered the back of it a little bit, but got that in there. So now I can hook up those wires and pop it back in the car. Here we've got our switch. It's got 3 connectors on the back. Polarity does matter in this case just because it's a light-up switch. If it was just a plain dumb switch, wouldn't matter in this case. But I've also just run a ground just to a screw down in there because it's a light up switch. It also needs the ground to light up that light. So we'll put this on. And now this whole thing, I can scoot right back down in here. There we go. Snapped in place, and you will see it does not light up because that power is based on the ignition being on. So now we'll turn on the ignition, if we can find it from here. Okay, car is on. Okay, here we go, ready for a test of our CHAdeMO setup. Right now on the voltmeter, no volts, and it is connected to the other end of the main power connections from our CHAdeMO connection. No power. I could lick this, whatever, doesn't matter. But in a minute, we're gonna change that. So we've got this set up. So I've got the 2 wires coming off the hack for the relay for the high voltage switch. That's going up to front. And then a number of the pins on here are going over this networking cable. The 2 important ones are pin number 2, which is start stop 1, and pin number 10, which is start stop 2. Now my hack right here does take care of start stop 1, so we don't need that. Start stop 2 is grounding pin 10, so we'll turn that on. That is a light up switch, but I don't have 12-volt positive connected, so that's working, but the light will not be on. And now, if we go up to the front, I already have the car ignition on, so the car would be ready to drive, but we've got our flashing, nope, you're plugged in, you can't drive away connection. And down here, we've got the switch we just mounted, and it lights up, so we know it's going. And let's check at our voltmeter now. Now, of course, not touching anything or anything like that. We are at 347 volts. It's a little low because I was out driving the car today. But that's what we need right there. So now I can just turn on power to this port right from the front of my car. And that's going to come out here. And what we'll do then is run that into a solar inverter and hopefully be able to power my entire house in a blackout from this connection right here. And here is the solar inverter. I hope works for this. This is a Solar City H6 hybrid inverter. It's orphaned. You can get these pretty darn cheap, but you get no warranty, no support, or anything like that. I did test out just plugging it into AC wall power, 240 volts, just through an old appliance cord rigged in over here. And when I did that, it did power up. Couldn't do anything, but it did power up. Over here, I'll run the battery power in, but I'm gonna need to pre-charge. So this right here is it's a pre-charge circuit from a Nissan Leaf electric car. And if you look on the back, it's actually a big old resistor right there. That's a 30 ohm resistor. And on the front, we've got two big contactors. So it makes or breaks both the positive and the negative through this entire unit. And then some of these small connectors here. Right here, we got kind of a smaller relay that connects power to that resistor and then to the other side of the connection on here. So that's the pre-charge circuit. Basically, this turns on probably about 2 seconds, something like that. Pre-charges the electronics in the Nissan Leaf, and then that moment later, this closes and this closes for connecting that big circuit. So I'm gonna do something similar for the solar inverter and probably literally using salvaged electric car parts. Alternatively, here's some other salvaged electric car parts. That's a 500 amp contactor. I think this one is 100 amps. And a pre-charge resistor. This one is 300 ohm, whereas this one here is 30 ohm. That one would take a lot longer to pre-charge that 300 plus volt battery pack. So I'm probably going to use the bigger one, but maybe just one of these contactors would fit in a box a lot smaller than this whole thing here.